Hi everyone, I'm Larissa Russell of Creative You, and I'm your host of the Creative Soul Healing Podcast. Here's where we talk about the connection between creativity and healing by interviewing amazing creatives, spectacular healers, and inspiring people who have used creativity in their healing. What does it mean to be creative? What is creativity? You don't have to write a best-selling book or paint a masterpiece or even play in a rock band. Creativity is in everything that we do, in the ways we think, in the way we run a business. In our everyday lives, we are creative all the time. Let's talk about how we are creative and how creativity helps us heal mentally, physically, and emotionally, right now on the Creative Soul Healing Podcast. Hi everyone, I'm Larissa Russell of Creative You, and welcome to the Creative Soul Healing Podcast. And today I have with me Alex Kleinichen. Nice, good German name, I think, right? And Alex was one of our presenters for the Loving, Healing, Creating Summit that we ran in February, and we absolutely loved having her. You can still get access to the summit at www.creativeyou.ca. So Alex is a professional artist, nonfiction author, and a spiritual health and life coach who is passionate about helping young adults to remember their soul and to reawaken to their gifts through art. She has published her first book, Light Up Your Soul, Healing from Anxiety and Depression Through Art, and is currently writing Volume 2 of the Light Up Your Soul series, an art journal course to reawaken your gifts. Alex runs art healing courses and workshops in which she is helping her students to connect with the elemental realm and the spiritual world of animals in a creative and healing way. So welcome, Alex.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes, it's so exciting. So can you share some of your story and your path that's brought you here?
Yeah, sure. So as you noticed before, I'm German. I was born in Germany, actually in the east part of Germany. And to be honest, I was always this logical person. I studied accounting. I became an accountant. But something in me was, in my early 30s, I was really, had this inner knowing, inner voice telling me I need to do something else. I need to go somewhere else. I had no idea where I was going to do, what I was going to do. So I was studying English, and I was going to Florida for a trip. And then I realized, oh my God, I need to leave Germany. I just didn't know where to go. And funny enough, one of the guys who I worked with was saying, well, you always talk about New Zealand. You should go to New Zealand. I didn't even notice. But to cut the story short, in the end, it was not New Zealand. And I was probably called to come here to Australia. So I moved to Australia in 2007. And that's my place. That's my home now. And well, I was going back into my accounting jobs, and then I think like most young adults experience and really hit me hard with a burnout. And I was diagnosed with adrenal fatigue. And that's where I feel like my journey really started, because I knew my body forced me to stop and I could not continue the way I was doing it. So I was studying a lot. I did a lot of self-help, reading a lot of self-help books, got into the law of attraction. Mm-hmm. And I read a lot and I changed my diet and all of that. So I did heal my body, but still something was missing. And that was creativity for me.
Yeah.
I'm so creative. So I started dancing. In my childhood, I played the piano as well. Then I started to discover my gift for painting. Funny enough, when I was in school, I was told I suck in art and I suck in writing. So that's why I pretty much shut down my gifts, because I was told I'm not good enough in all of these things. So why bother? Mm-hmm. But being in that burnout situation, I had to take a different approach. And that's when I really started to rediscover who I am. What am I here for? And I knew that I didn't want to die as an accountant. I always had this inspiration that I'm here for more. And not just to paint either. So I'm here to help other people. that's how my journey pretty much started, to figure out what I'm supposed to do in this lifetime.
Yes. And it's so funny because I talk to a lot of people, and especially women who have come into art at a later time in their life. That's usually what it is. Some sort of burnout, some sort of I can't keep doing this, that sort of thing. And then they have to find something else. And then they realize this passion that they've had that was stifled, usually as a child, usually in school, but sometimes parents as well. And then, once they get past all of that negative self-talk that they learned so much younger, they can free themselves up to do their creativity, right? So I totally have heard this, not that your story is unique, but it's similar to a lot of women's stories. So I'm so grateful for you that you found that path for yourself. That's awesome. Yeah. So what does healing with creativity mean to you?
Yeah, that's an interesting part. So I became a life and health coach because that was kind of part of my journey of discovering kind of myself, but also helping others. And then I realized I was ending up in a crossroad. Well, do I do health coaching or do I do my art? And I was kind of thinking, no, I can't decide for the one or the other. How can I combine it? And that's where I kind of figured out a way for myself of, well, we're all healing ourselves first before we can heal others, right? So for me, what I discovered for myself, what works very well is art journaling. So I've got an art journal. It depends on how heavy, whatever the situation is I'm going through. I might do just journaling, just some writing. And then I'm going to share this also in one of my courses, how I'm actually doing it. But it's really to let go the inner critic and any story we don't want to have repeated, and just let it out and express it. But also for me, picking intuitively colors I feel drawn to rather than having in your mind what I'm going to do, and just letting it flow. And yes, it's going to be a creative mess, but then just to trust the process, because that is the subconscious mind dealing with that situation we currently go through. And then you can, in the end, make this painting pretty. And I always use affirmation. That works for me. And in the end, I know that's healed. It's also healed in me. And the art journal is that whatever I painted was healed. And I've got the affirmation in the end as a reminder of what it is I need to hear.
Yeah. No, and that's so true about the not worrying about what color it is or what it's looking like. It's about the process, right? And I teach that a lot. So yes, I completely understand that. So do you think there's a driving force that inspires you?
Yes, definitely. There's something in me. I remember my previous employer sent me to a seminar. That was kind of the situation where I had my burnout. And they led us through a meditation, and we had to picture ourselves being at our own funeral, and to hear what people say about us. And that just was like, no, like, that's not how I want to die. I need to change my life right now. And that's kind of how it all started. And that's my inner drive, my inner inspiration. I've gone through this process. It helped me to discover who I am, what I'm supposed to do here. And I want to teach all these young adults. These are the people who are drawn to me. That's kind of what I realized when I'm at work. These Alex, can you help me? Alex. I was like, oh, I would love to do this really. And I just didn't know what it is, but now I know. Thanks God.
Oh, that's great. That is. So how has a past pain informed your life purpose?
That's an interesting question. As I mentioned before, it started with my burnout, but it was not immediately. I knew now that's my life purpose. For me, it was just the beginning of a journey, a beginning of discovering who I truly am, because that's what I'm teaching. I'm going to teach in my new book as well. is we're so programmed of what we believe we need to do, what we're supposed to do, what society tells us we need to do, but that is not who we truly are. So that was for me the process of rediscovering, okay, that is not me, that is not me, what is me? And then over time, over a few years, also going through the coaching program myself was pretty much helping me to realize, oh, I think I'm an artist, or I think I'm a writer. And that's how it kind of all fall into its places. So it was not a quick solution, it was a journey, but the journey was totally worth it.
Oh, and it is. I mean, life is a journey, right? And that's what it's about. And it's growing and experiencing and learning from everything that comes up in our journey. So
yeah.
And so you had mentioned your art journal. And so when I ask you what is your favorite creative healing modality, is it that, or do you have something else? Or
it's a combination of journaling, just releasing what I want, what I don't want to have in my life anymore, any repeating pattern, then also meditate and go through and figure out how that relates to my childhood, because that's where it mostly comes from. Mm-hmm. And then realizing, it's because of that. Oh, well, I don't need this anymore. And then we let go. So for me, it's also writing, journaling. And sometimes it's a combination of both. Once I've written it all out, do my little prayer, and then write my new story, and then I might do a painting. So I kind of switch between the two. Or I just journal in my art journal what I need to let go of. I'm sick of doing this, I'm sick of doing that. And then go in this messy process and create something.
Yeah, I'm a journaler for the most part. I have to write to get it out, but I've recently started to sort of journal in my art journal first, and then do my art over top of it. And that's really cathartic. I find that really helpful.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So what would you say is your greatest accomplishment to date?
My greatest accomplishment was to publish my first book, and I've got it here.
Oh, yes.
So it's Light Up Your Soul, Healing from Anxiety and Depression through Art. So it's definitely, it's more like a self-help course rather than just a book you read. And it has a lot of creative activities in it, which leads you through a process of releasing the past, releasing the worries, recognizing self-sabotaging behavior, and be grateful, focusing on what is working rather than what's not working, or worrying about anything. Right. And just stripping away this old to rebirth the new. That was definitely my biggest accomplishment. From going through this process of, I think I need to write a book, to who are you to write a book?
And then writing a book. How long did that take you from when you first thought of it to when it was actually published?
I think it was a bit over a year to just go through this in my mind to actually do it. But once I started actually doing it, it didn't take too long. It was 6 months until it got published.
Yeah. But it's that year of talking yourself into it, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. I know. I'm at that point now too. And I've just started like, no, I can do this. And I have a deadline now. And, so, but it's been that year of talking myself into it. And now I'm actually working.
I know. So for me, I'm getting dreams. And then my dreams got so loud, I couldn't ignore it anymore. I could actually see it in my dream. I could see young girls just suffering from it. I said, oh my God, I need to write this book.
I need to help them. Yeah, it's so true. Oh, that's awesome. That's so, yeah. So if you could change one aspect of our society through your work, what would it be?
Well, kind of two things connected to it. I would like to know that everybody is creative, even though when we keep saying, oh, I'm not creative, it doesn't mean you need to be an artist. You don't need to be a musician. It can be you can just cook something, an amazing meal. It can be you develop a software. So we all have something creative within us. And I would like that everybody is really tapping into that. And another thing for me, it's because I'm really connected to animals and their spiritual message, and also to the elemental realms like the fairies, the mermaids, the unicorns. They are real. That's what I truly believe in. And they are here to help us, but they also need our help to do something good for the planet.
Right.
To save the environment, the nature, respect nature.
Oh, so true. So true. So what inspirational advice would you give to someone who is struggling?
Inspirational advice I would give is know that you are safe. What you're going through is all a way to rediscover your soul. And you're also protected. We all have our divine team, and it doesn't matter who you believe in. There's something greater than us. And yes, if you feel guided, you need help, whatever resonates to you, ask your divine team who it is and what it is for you. You can go through this, and you're strong. We are stronger than we think we are.
That is so true. That is so true. As someone who has definitely been down there at the bottom, I totally understand that. We are much stronger than we think we are. And you just have to keep fighting until it gets to the good stuff. And it's sad that we have to keep fighting to get there, but sometimes that's just reality. And that's very true. So do you have an inspirational quote that sums up your life journey?
I always was drawn to this quote from Walt Disney. If you can dream it, you can do it. That totally pretty much sums up. If we have an imagination of something we want to achieve, of something we want to experience, your soul is telling you you can do it. That's why you're dreaming about it. So you can do it.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Well, thank you so much for being here. And to our listeners, thank you for listening in, and we'll see you again next week. And in the meantime, I wish for you amazingly creative days. Have a great week.
Thank you.